Foy, and I'm the moderator, right?
Yes.
And this is Leonard William Foy III, Esquire. So today we'll just ask you 4 questions. Is that okay with you?
It is okay with me, and let me jump right in just to say, yes, inform our listeners that the purpose of this video is to answer some frequently asked questions. So a frequently asked question for the benefit of not only Natalie, the moderator, but our listening audience. A frequently asked question is a question which I am asked over and over again. And so that seems appropriate to be made the subject of this video presentation so that we can cover a few questions that people are always asking me. Natalie is, the format of this video will be that Natalie, my daughter, will ask the question itself, and I will provide our listeners with an answer to that question, and then we'll move on to the next question. There are a total of 4 questions.
As I said in the beginning. So, the first question is, do you offer a free consultation?
And the answer to that question, and I'd like to expound on my answer just a little bit, is that yes, we do. So it's a perfectly valid question. Attorneys are compensated either on an hourly basis, or they receive what's called a flat fee, or in some cases they receive a percentage. So with a personal injury case and with cases like that, attorneys will receive a percentage of the overall recovery. In the real estate business, attorneys typically work on what's called a flat fee or a fixed fee. More about that later. But suffice it to say that if a client wanted to come into my office and meet with me to discuss a possible legal scenario, or if they wanted to have that discussion with me over the telephone or in an email exchange, I do offer a complimentary or free consultation for the purposes of determining whether I can assist the client, the extent of services they'll need. They may need some service, a considerable amount of service, or no legal services whatsoever. And of course, the purpose of the consultation is to determine what's needed and whether I'm going to be a good fit for that person and whether I'm able to assist them and solve their problem.
Okay, so the second question is, what type of services do you offer?
I'm glad you asked me that question. So I have been practicing law for just about 20 years, and I'm very pleased to say that in that 20-year span, I have handled just about every case you can imagine. I've been involved with personal injury litigation. I've been involved with divorce. I've prepared wills and trusts. I've handled real estate matters. I've filed bankruptcies. I've been involved with bankruptcy cases. I've handled criminal cases. I've been involved with myriad types of legal matters, disputes, documents, set up businesses. So I'm very pleased to say that in terms of my range and experience, I've done just about everything. Since 2006, I have focused my practice on real estate matters only. So now I would consider myself to be exclusively a real estate attorney. However, how does all this experience benefit you as the potential client? You are dealing with an attorney who has been practicing law for almost 20 years. And when I say almost 20 years, I think my 20-year anniversary is coming up next February. That being 20 years since I've been sworn in as an attorney. I was sworn in the state of California in February of 1995. But I've been hanging around courtrooms my whole life, so I know this business better than anybody. But at any rate, the benefit of working with me is that I have a keen understanding of real estate matters, which is my area of specialty, but I can spot and recognize issues related to any kind of practice area because I've done everything in that span. But since 2006, I have focused my practice on real estate, that being commercial and residential real estate transactions. Sorry if I went on too long.
It's okay. So, you actually deal with criminal?
I have represented criminal clients, not in a long time, but I certainly know my way around a courtroom. And when I did handle criminal cases, I think I handled them very, very well and very effectively. It was just not my cup of tea. But moving on to the next frequently asked question.
Oh yeah, sorry. So the third question is, which states do you practice in?
I was admitted to practice law in the state of California in 1995. I am currently inactive in the state of California because I live here. But I am admitted to practice law in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine. And so I handle real estate transactions in those 3 states. Plus, I am licensed to issue title insurance in the state of Rhode Island. Now, an important caveat that I want to offer to our listeners, I am not licensed as an attorney in Rhode Island. So any work that I do in the state of Rhode Island is strictly in my capacity as an agent or a title agent for the purposes of handling a real estate closing or issuing title insurance. So I offer that caveat to our listeners. But I'm certainly capable and qualified of handling real estate transactions in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Maine, and Rhode Island. And by the way, that includes the entirety of those 4 states. That's Western Mass. That's upstate Maine. That's the Cape, Islands, Boston area, northern New Hampshire, Worcester, the Berkshires, and certainly any of the islands located off the coast of any of these states. So it's important to let people know that I handle a vast geographical area, and we have the ability to close a transaction in any part of those 4 states.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the last question is, how do potential clients contact you?
I'm so glad that you asked me that. The best way to contact me is to call my office. Our phone number is area code 603-598-4030. So that will get you through to our office. Whoever picks up the phone, please ask to speak with Attorney Len Foy. They'll put you right through. Anyone who would like to send me an email, please do so. My email address is LFOY, so that's my first initial, L, my last name, Foy, at foylawoffice.com. If you want to find out more about me, you can visit my website, or you can search for me on the internet. My website, or my web address, if you will, is www.foylawoffice.com. If you want to send me a fax, that's sort of an old-fashioned way of communicating, but if you want to send me a fax, I can send you a fax back, or we can communicate through some other means that we agree to in advance. But my fax number is 603-598-4020.
With that being said, thank you all the listeners for listening to my lovely dad. Frequently asked questions.
Yes, and just in closing, I want to say that these are some of the questions that we are frequently asked, but certainly not all. So if there's a question that you had about me or my practice or the services that we offer that has not been covered in this video seminar, then I encourage you, please contact me directly, and I'll be happy to cover that with you, again, at no additional or initial cost. All consultations are free.
I sort of have a cough today. Sorry. Happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for listening to us.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Ciao.